Okay. You know, I'm starting to wish that I'm thinking like, were these tethers like, wait, did they really need to put those tethers in for that fight? Like, I just feel like the difficulty's already there. We don't really need those tethers, you know.
Yeah, it's makes it tricky for sure.
I mean, I'm just like seething right now. I'm gonna go get some water, I'll be right back.
Waiting on X and Pat.
Oh, okay.
It didn't come through.
Alright, let's skip cutscene.
Mega. What the fuck is happening? Somebody doesn't have his stance on.
What?
Flatten. Exond, turn your stance on. Ray. I was like, what the fuck is the boss looking at me?
Oh, I see, I see.
Mega Flare. Flatten. Mega Flare. Flatten.
I know the edge.
Giga Flare.
Giga.
Living Dead. Flatten.
I've got next one built.
Mega flare.
Mega.
Yeah, you got Rage.
Oh, I've got Rage right here.
Rage. Flatten. Giga flare. Hit all the Cyclops. So is
Plonk.
this is gonna hurt.
Oh, Ray.
We should be okay, right?
Absolutely not. Ray.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
4 Mega
Oh, sorry.
Flare. It's fine. 4 Mega Flare, I want you to stand with me,
Okay.
please. Yeah, all good.
Oh, didn't know you had the big tosses of Astro.
Mega Flare. That's what I mean by you have to stand with me. Otherwise, you're just gonna flatten. Mega Flare. Flatten. Giga Flare. Mega flare.
You son of a bitch.
3.
I'll repurchase Father Savage.
I just want to talk about Mega Flare just for a sec. What I'm seeing from where I am is everyone spreads out by moving out, and then we have everyone moving in. So we have AoE damage that you can't see during that. So people are getting tagged, I think, and then I think people are standing too close to the stack. So ideally, what we should be doing for that phase, for first phase, not for the last phase because there's too much going on, but we can we can actually do it for last phase as well. We can pre-position, so similar to I had in the diagram. So you want to be sitting, you want to be already pre-positioned for Mega Flare. So you see it casting, move away, stand still. So it's going to drop an AoE. You're going to have the other AoEs going off that we can't. There's no cast. We can't see who's going to get hit. It's random. And then we have the stack. So it's only at that point that people who have the stack should be moving back in. But instead, what we've got is everyone's moving in.
Like that. Something. So
Everyone, when the AoEs go out, everyone who doesn't have a sprawl ring around their head is about to blow up 1 second later. So the AoEs will go out on the floor, on the random players. Then all of the players that aren't marked with the stack will blow up with an AoE. So if you don't get marked, so when the ring goes down, if you don't have a ring out on you, then start walking out of your circle AoE around your feet. If you have the circle around you, then you run in. So you can actually already be immediately moving as soon as the rings go down. But if you have the ring around your head, you run in. If you don't have a ring around your head, you run out of the circle AoE. If you're not in a circle AoE and you don't need to move, and you don't have a ring around your head, then you can just sit still and plan. But what you don't want to do is run in if you don't have a ring around your head.
Mega flare.
That crit.
Well, I fainted there. What the fuck?
I see it's the wrong mid. I used to light a mid.
No, I made it, and I also did the first thing.
Oh fuck.
Here you go.
Green.
Rain.
Oh, the minute, actually, no, that would have been fine. I had the same. Yeah, I had 20% magic, so that would have been exactly the same as ring part. It's just bad luck.
You absolutely got crit because you had a 50% health shield up. You had shields from both me and Triss. Yes, you didn't have 10%, but you dropped down to 3,000 from the first hit.
Beautiful. Got melted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 20% magic mid ons.
Mega. Rotten.
I'm resing. Bill.
Mega. Giga fly. I might die here if I don't. Living dead.
C is gonna need shields when Stinger goes out.
Flare. Rain. Mega flat. Talons. Great.
Is it 3 people or 4 people that get the diamond marker thing? 2 to 4, okay.
dead, but... Mega.
Rain.
Platinum. Here you go. Middle protect.
Magic first.
That was
And this is where the problem comes from. He is really aggro.
what is happening?
Both aggroed the same ad. Unfolked. Ah, we're still doing it.
Dive bomb middle.
You'll be.
In. Dive out.
got that one built, you got the next one.
Mega flare.
I didn't get the 10 up. Fuck.
Now open your eyes while our plight is repeated. Still
Was it just in a bad spot, or
No, I thought I had it, and I turned around and I didn't have it.
the old classic switcheroo?
No one was close to me, I just fucking missed it. Damn it.
Oh fuck, sorry, I'm running away. It's alright. We're too cool.
Mega. Re.
No, we're cool. We're too cool, Zah. We figured it out on the fly.
But Zai didn't live.
Oh, I did though.
It's because there was no one to get covered,
Oh, I see.
and I had no mana because I got dead. I fucked up early. It's all good.
What's that teach? They set up.
Mega. Wow. Mega. Fuck. quiet. Here you go. Second set dive bombs.
Sorry.
Bahamut dive bomb.
I can do that Aquaman.
Oh,
Mega fly.
To
Build,
No,
pick
no,
up
no,
tether.
no.
Build a tether.
Yeah, with that one, Zar, you always take the closest spot to the boss, and I always go further away.
Bearing sins of the past.
Yeah, it can't work in phase 4.
Oh, okay, little fuck.
Yeah, no, you gotta. Yeah, definitely gotta separate.
Mega. What?
Yeah, if that happens again, Zar, I'll go left and you stay on your side.
Mega. What? Dead button. Mega. Thank you for your sacrifice, Bill. Rage.
I caught one. I should have segregated that. I think so.
Here you go. Meteors, enter.
Oh, fuck.
I'm running slash. Remember Mega Flare happens now?
Beware, red wave.
Start with this. We have another dive bomb, the single,
Comet dive bomb.
and into another go. And
We have a
remember
mega
there's
flare.
another Mega Flare now.
Very nice.
I got first half on,
Okay.
Oh shit, sorry, I'm facing the wrong way.
but right.
Yep. Just everybody adjust.
Mega. Bill.
The astral is just the thing there. The death.
Did you have the stack marker too, Bill?
Yeah, the stack marker and also
Plus the... Oh, I see.
maybe I could.
Do we want to try one more, Paul?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't mind.
There we go.
That's my fault.
Pardon.
Yeah, no worries. I'll do the next one.
Flatten. Oh, fuck's sake. There you go. Flatten.
Oh my god.
And then we'll just go back to regular now, Bill. But I'll do the next rage. Oh fuck, sorry.
Get him.
Alright. Rip.
All of my children, to whom death
We call that then?
Thank you.
Yeah, we're starting to come in strong on that last phase. I think it's just studying the boss rotation for that last phase. That's what sort of helped me because last week what I was doing is I was panicking coming into that last phase. Yeah, have a look at the strat because I've posted the timing of the boss rotation for the last phase. And yeah, just to study, I guess just which order melee are handling the tether.
Yeah. I could tell. I'm sick. Honestly, this is fight. I hate. Honestly, I just have the feeling of like what's gonna happen is like I'm not gonna have to make it one day, and then I know you guys are gonna clear at the time.
We're close to clearing. I think we can do it.
Yeah.
It's just getting the timing of the movement for Mega Flare. I think it's probably one of the big things.
That's critical. Like, if you get clipped by a single AoE going into the stack, you're dead. Every time. Without fail.
Yeah, like you gotta like unless you can get like max healed.
Yeah, which isn't
Healers-
happening because it happens 1.5 seconds after another.
And healers are getting absolutely pumped in that last phase.
Yeah.
So y'all need to also remember, like, I started calling out that last Mega Flare on the dive bombs because it was consistent that people were on the last Bahamut one, people were just running for the Mega Flare spot and then killing each other every single time. going into phase 4. So you have to remember that last Mega Flare and just relax. You've got like 20 seconds before, after the dive bomb, before the Mega Flare actually happens. You don't have to all run, and it's a bait. The arena scene changed color as a bait so that you all stack on top of each other and kill each other with Mega Flare.
If anyone's unfamiliar with the timing, because there's a lot happening at the time, have a look at the boss rotation I've written down. So it actually, I timed it out. You get an idea as to what fires when. There's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, on that Mega Flare, it's just the both tanks that get the tether, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
On the second last one, I made a grab for it and I missed. I didn't realise I was halfway through boss
okay, yeah.
box on the way back.
We'll get it. We're very, very close. My pinky says like 28, 25% or some shit. I don't know.
And what about pulls? We saw a shaker twice, I think, in the last phase.
Yeah, I think so. So we're definitely on track.
There was only... I don't mean to sound like a Debbie Downer. There was only one single pull that was clean.
Oh yeah, but at least we recovered some of it. Like those ads give us the time to recover if we need to, Before that
No.
tank buster thing? No?
Yes and no.
Yes, okay.
Yes and
Puts the
no.
healers on the back foot.
Oh, does it?
If either of the tanks has to use an extra mitt in that phase, it's a wipe in phase 4. Period.
Yeah, true.
So if there's any recovery in the ad phase, it's already a wipe. But it's just going to be a wipe in about 1 minute time. So yes and no.
I see.
We can get a little bit more prog in, but it will be a guaranteed wipe if the tanks have to use an extra mitt during the ad phase. Each repeat of the final phase, each Acmeon hits an additional time. So each repeat hits harder and hits more often and hits more. So it's basically a battle of bullshit in phase 4. You can't be any mistakes. There can't be any recovery. There can't be. Everything has to be perfect in phase 4.
Yeah.
So Mega Flare really is at basic. We've had by this stage 9 minutes of the fight, 10 minutes of the fight to actually get used to doing the Mega Flare dance. There shouldn't be any mistakes on the basics of it, like clipping each other with the AoEs and not making it to the stack. The tether is just to throw the spanner in the works because it's trying to tell you that you should have mastered this mechanic by now. The tethers really should be nothing. But,
Yeah, that is a fair point.
But we're still failing on the basics of that, so that seriously needs clean up. And that's why I said we only made it to phase 4 cleanly once. The other times we made it there, it was either scuffed, there was recovery, there was extra shit used to get there, and it's like, yeah, we're getting prog, which is excellent, but we need to do, we need to get those basics really down. But it was otherwise really, but well done, we made it to, 28% or 27%. That's really impressive for how long we've been at this. That's my feedback anyway. Basically, we need to get the basics. Xan's covered the tethers part and Rena's covered tethers as well. That's really important. That's the bit we've got to get next. Once we've got that, then we do have a clear run to the finish line. But without those two things down, it's not an automatic win next Thursday sort of thing. we're 2 steps away from the finish line, so we are close, but those steps really matter.
Yeah, of course. On a side note, you've got Zar. I'm not in the party, so you have to actually talk, or maybe Des. With the Picto, if you've got a stack of one of the beast canvas things or whatever the fuck, would you hard cast your paint thing, or would you just wait for your swift cast to be up to make it work? If that makes sense.
I know nothing about Picto.
I thought
haven't
you had a
even looked at it.
Okay, Zar has
Because
it.
I'm only up to like Stormblood content, so I haven't actually used like high level Picto.
But I saw you use the hammer and the bat thing, right? That's what I'm talking about. You know, those things.
Yeah, the hammer is like it's on a different timer from your other canvas.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying as in, what am I saying? So sometimes you'll have the bat thing or the hammer thing available, but there's no swift cast. Would you hard cast that or not, or wait for your swift cast?
Be like painting the actual picture.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you know how the paint comes above your head. If your swift cast, what was that?
You could. I don't see why you wouldn't. But the way that I do it is I have it on my screen so I can see when it's nearly ready available, and I'll always paint it before it's actually ready to cast. So then as soon as it's available, I instantly cast my hammer or the Moogle thing.
But doesn't
I
that
need-
thing go ahead?
No, what were you going to say?
Oh, so I've tried that. I think I've tried that. But don't you find the issue is, say for example, you've got 10 seconds on your paint thing to be ready. So if you cast your pom motif or whatever the fuck it's called, it resets your arrow in green or fire in red or whatever the fuck. Don't you have a longer wait time before it comes off your GCD or whatever?
I wouldn't want to tell you that, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've mostly been doing like level 50, 60 stuff with it, so yeah.
Man, I really wish I could,
Okay.
like, I have the bunch of picked up, but the thing is, like, I do a lot of things that just off feeling and vibes, so like, I can't really like, explain that. Or, like,
Yeah,
how
because I just did what.
Yeah,
Oh, go
I'm
ahead,
sure
sorry.
there's a way to like min-max it, but that is something that I'm trying to figure out, because I have noticed my damage is so much lower than everybody else's. So yeah, I don't know what the best way to do it is.
So you would recommend still hard casting it if it's available?
I always cast it before the actual move is ready. So I have it on my HUD that I can like see. Like I'm I'm never sitting there with the cast like ready to go. I always have it before it's available, so as soon as it becomes available I can instantly cast it.
Well,
So
I
I
just
kinda
noticed, because I'm mucking
Yeah.
around with it, right? I wait for the pom thing or the hammer thing to be ready, because as soon as you do the paint canvas thing, whatever the fuck it's called, it makes that thing available straight away, whereas your arrow in green has a whole another countdown, if that makes sense. I'm terrible at explaining, but yeah.
Nah,
Just-
yeah.
all good, all good. I thought you might know more than me about it because I'm just fucking around with it.
No, you should probably like. Pinky's only just started, but he probably knows better than me.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna ask. The bloody Picto thing,
Picto.
right?
What about
So you know how you can paint the canvas thing that goes above your head, right? For your ability? So my question, first I've got two questions. My first question is, if your swift cast isn't available, would you hard cast it if the actual attack is ready, if that makes sense? So for example, we'll talk about the hammer one, because the hammer one's the easy one, right? So for example, if you've got no swift cast, but you can use the hammer attack, if you paint it, would you hard cast the paint?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, no worries.
The damage that you lose for delaying it is very significant.
Okay,
The only
no
time
worries.
I would probably not is if Swift Cast was like 1 or 2 seconds off. If you could just like sling out one more GCD and then Swift Paint.
Okay, and then
Hey, honey. I need you to bail me out.
What? No, Dad.
I was doing it for you.
I don't want you to kill people for me. Just buy me a sweater like a regular dad. I have to go.
I've got a bad back. You know what the beds are like in jail.
Goodbye, Dad.
Man, this stage is great! Sonic Forces probably needs no introduction by now. It's been the franchise's favorite punching bag ever since it came out, as the final product was nothing short of underdeveloped and disappointing. Look him in the eyes and tell him you had fun. You can't. Stripping away all of the depth. polish and nuance that made the Boost gameplay so fun, what we thought would be Generations 2 ended up more like a Colors tech demo, where you boosted down straight lines, jumped and homing attacked a few things for no more than a collective 2 hours before saying to yourself, wait, that was it? The story was nothing, Green Hill fatigue was setting in, classic Sonic suffered identity theft, and the 4 years in between this and Lost World, which was already an unsatisfactory deviation, didn't help its case. Now, I've gone on record before to say that there's a bit more to the game than what that general consensus will lead on to, and I still believe that. I can play this from start to finish and enjoy a couple things about it without being perpetually compelled to shut it off out of boredom. It's not a broken mess, nor is it horribly frustrating, and to me that keeps it from being truly awful. But it is still a far cry to what I look for in a game and is the definition of mediocre. Sonic Forces Overclocked is a fan-created mod expansion that aims to fix all of these issues, acting as a small sequel. It has a completely original continuation of the story where Infinite and Neo Metal of all characters team up to try and take out Sonic. Considering he just flew away without any fanfare at the end, it was nice to see that get followed up on. 3D animated cutscenes, I imagine, were beyond the scope of the project, so instead we have hand-drawn comic panels, and while that may seem like a compromise, I think that was the next best option. There is some really good artwork in here, combined with effective sound design, screen shake, and background music to where I never felt like I was missing out on too much from it not being animated. Some images were a little blurry, probably because they had to zoom in for effect, but wasn't a big deal. Say hello to Demon Vector. The voice acting also not too shabby. I wasn't rolling my eyes at every other line read. It does still come with a lot of the same trappings that many fandubs do, like over and under-delivering certain dialogue, pronunciation issues, slurring of words, etc. Things you wouldn't normally hear in a professional setting that exist in a non-profit vacuum, but even so, still not bad by any means. Charmy, what do you want? As for the writing itself, I thought it was fine. I love the banter between Infinite and Metal. That was by far the highlight for me. Especially the ending where they have a Generations-esque post-credits feud and Metal loses his powers mid-argument so he's unable to talk back. I thought that was charming. The rest of it, though, is a rather trope-heavy series of truncated story beats that you've likely heard before in a lot of other media. Bad guys team up with a new thing that makes them stronger, good guys get beat down, they try fighting them again later, still doesn't work until suddenly they gain the upper hand and win. Oh, we're done. It's like there's a big middle section of the story that we skip through, making it feel like it ends right when it's getting started. Still better than the real game, I guess. No! The gameplay is separated into 3 familiar avenues: Boost Sonic, the custom avatar, and the tag team combining them. Classic Sonic has been completely omitted, doesn't even get mentioned, and instantly rates of depression went down. Those levels were panned by almost everyone across the board for their vacuous physics and design. Even though they technically had the least amount of Force's baggage, less automation, and more diverging paths, they fell short in every possible way. Cutting out that weak link makes going from one level to another much more consistent here without any stylistic whiplash or dips in quality. Each level takes place in an old territory from the regular game, only revamped with added visuals, like Lost Valley now being a dismal ash-covered battlefield besmirched by embers and flames. It even opens in Starlight Zone with returning mechanics like the rising stair blocks before transitioning into the Green Hill portion, each equipped with their own music. This is a great example of how revisiting old stages isn't a bad idea anymore, we just don't need to see the same ones over and over. It's repetitive by nature and takes away from the current game's identity. It also shows us how you can take an old stage and make it feel totally fresh. This is Sonic's beloved home turf, and it's in ruins, a story beat that hits way harder now since the terrain is so much more believably devastating, compared to just putting a bunch of sand everywhere. Which, in all fairness, I think is a nice aesthetic. In fact, I prefer it artistically just because it's more colorful, but Stolen Valley has such a great deal more charisma and a sense of in-universe geography, literally going from one landmark to another mid-stage, that it sets the tone of the narrative way better than Sand Hill ever could. If a group of fans setting fire to Green Hill in their mod doesn't send the message, I don't know what will. Chemical Plant's outdoor areas I thought were distinct enough to stand on their own without being mistaken for the original, but Freight Frenzy dials in on what Spaceport laid down by focusing on the transportation aspect of it, with actual trains that you have to dodge and a completely new section built using the colored shipping containers that used to only be in the background. The Chaotix have also joined you and can be seen popping in here and there. The city is mostly unchanged, as it was already an original location, a beautiful one at that, but they've added more substance to enhance the setting. The lighting is darker, with red and purple instead of orange, infinite creatures causing destruction, and NPCs on the ground fighting against Eggman's robots, reminding us that, oh Oh yeah, there is kind of a war going on. Man, is their aim bad though, no wonder we lost. Mystic Jungle gets 2 areas dedicated to it, one being a frosty environment that once again brings background assets into the foreground, and the other a blazing inferno corrupted by thorny vines. Death Egg's interior has an orange fog of war to indicate an ominous energy source, and the outside was left nearly untouched as it was already one of the best looking environments. Now it's a full-on battlefield with meteors and lasers all over the place. The Eggman Empire Fortress has been tattered and abandoned with all sorts of damaged architecture and fallen ships laying in the background, glossed over with a warm sunset. You even play as Metal Sonic here, but he's kind of having a hard time. Forces at its best was already a good-looking game, something I always gave it credit for, but Overclocked further improves upon that with higher quality textures, more detail, and enhancements to some of the lackluster areas. There are, however, some instances where the art direction can be a little too busy, like Jungle Inferno where you're bombarded by a McDonald's color wheel, or Stolen Valley with its veil of darkness, making it hard to see where you even are in the environment, unable to appreciate the details, which you could do in Lost Valley. City Siege has a similar problem with being so much darker compared to how well lit Sunset Heights was. I get that that's the point, the sky is cloudy and there's a lot of purple energy everywhere, but it makes it hard to see things like incoming obstacles when going so fast, something that didn't happen in the original. The orange also complemented Sonic's lighter hue in the base game much better than the dark blue against a shadowy red-orange landscape. In summary, the game looks good. It was a lot of fun to see how all these familiar locations changed after the events of the main story, and I think they handled the presentation very well, even if the lighting isn't always optimal. And that's not even including all the subtle flourishes like Big the Cat cameos, certain 2D sections, angling the camera to give you a better view of what's up ahead, idle animations like Metal getting freaked out by his spinning hand, how do I stop it? And best of all, there's a Dark Omo Chow to give you hints, and if you attack him too many times with the avatar, he starts to warn you until he finally snaps. Wait, what is this? What? Putting all that aside though, it's time to get into what this thing plays like. How does Overclocked feel compared to the original? The controls have been tightened up ever so slightly. Steering left and right is a bit quicker, doesn't feel quite as heavy. The running acceleration has a smoother transition to top speed. The double jump goes a bit higher. And that's about all I could notice. I'm sure there are other tweaks here and there, but if you didn't like how this game controlled before, it's probably not going to impress you now either, even if in a better state. The homing attack is still geriatric and has a hard time locking on. You need to be directly facing the target or else you risk an amnesia attack. Jumping is very stiff, so anytime you get stopped by a block and jump, you may turn to the side where you can't lock on or change direction, and it sucks every time. The chain homing attack that's meant to bring you across a string of enemies usually works, but every so often it'll send you backwards.
Take a look at this tiny place.
One time I didn't even home in and I got bounced backwards instead. Another same thing, only I went straight up, failed, got hit, and failed again. What is our secret handshake? Ironically, the Force's homing attack has potential to be super interactive since you need to turn your body towards the proper target instead of always homing in so long as it's on screen. When the camera's pulled back and everything's in view, it's surprisingly responsive. I can turn all the way around in midair. I could see this being iterated upon to remedy the homing attack chain monotony that we've endured for decades. Alas, that's not what happened, leaving us with a partially unreliable utility. That being said, suboptimal control has never been a reason for me to give up on a game without at least trying to get good at it. And I'm glad I abide by that because I had a really good time with Overclocked. While it may not reach the highs of Unleashed in Generations, there are points where it gets close, giving us a taste of what Forces could have looked like had it been given more care and attention. God, how many times we said that about a Sonic game. The 3 main issues with the core level design were as follows: automation, length, and linearity. It felt like we were auto-boosting down a never-ending series of hallways lasting like 90 seconds apiece, consistently ending right when it seemed like it was getting good. Well, I'm happy to say that 2 of those complaints have been addressed. Automation is significantly cut down on. First off, no QTEs. Every now and then a level would interrupt you to watch a short cutscene where you press a button, and while they were kinda cool, they mainly added insult to injury since the game already had such low interactivity. Overclocked gets rid of them all except for one double boost at the very end, making it a lot more special, and replacing that dead space with real gameplay. The avatar's automatic grappling points are also gone, and they've added a new type that only works if you time the button press when it lights up, similar to the tropical jungle vines. Second, you can wiggle around during most boosting sections. The control doesn't lock you in place nearly as often or flood the screen with dash panels, so you'll actually have to steer yourself if you want to grab all the rings, which you may want to do now because not only do they factor into the much harder to get S-ranks, but like Unleashed in Generations, they fill your boost meter again, something Forces ironically didn't do. Now, running out of boost isn't very common, and it's not like there's anywhere else you can go, but I think it adds just a bit more consideration to these moments, helping them to feel less restrictive. And third, these levels have all been packed with branching paths, shortcuts, and split-second obstacle reaction. Every few seconds, you are presented with an opportunity to cut corners and change course. Jump over the dash pads, get into the hoops, jump to take the high road, use the spring to reach the upper path, jump in more hoops, snag the pulley mid-air, boost around robots to save time instead of homing attacking, jump into another zipline, homing attack this enemy so your air boost can reach the other one. Falling through the floor, yeah, we got that too, don't worry. It is constant activity to keep you engaged, and that's not even the half of it. For example, sliding wasn't something you ever had to do in the retail game, and it's everywhere now, more than any of the other boost games, I want to say. I had some legitimate difficulty adjusting to how often it came up since it went so unused over the last 12 years. You have to train your eyes to always be looking ahead because they're usually well marked with an arrow. Although there are cases where the cluttered presentation and lighting can affect this negatively, like in City Siege where you're going downhill, so the gate up ahead, which is already the same color as everything in the background, gets obscured by the motion blur and speed lines at the top of the screen. Compare this to an earlier part in the same stage where you have a clear shot of it dead center and the difference in clarity is evident. Still, it's good to see this ability come back with such prominent usage. It's a small way of adding variety back into your inputs. Don't know why it didn't work here, but whatever, man, I'm tired. Another frequent dodging technique you'll see is quick-stepping. Overclocked loves quick-stepping, to a point where it can start to feel like an over-reliance. Stages are often bookended by these, plus a section in the middle with a hearty helping of rail grinding throughout, which is essentially the same thing anyway, so you often end up doing more quick-stepping in total than regular gameplay. Now, I don't despise that, I actually like quick-stepping in moderation. It's a pure method of focusing on the speed for a minute with everything clearly laid out for you to dodge like a ninja. What was that? And some of these sections are pretty exciting. Dodging geysers on the way to one of the infinite nightmares and then destroying it Perfect Chaos style because these models were originally going to be used for Perfect Chaos back when the game had passion. Avoiding fire from the Angel Island mini-boss, once again references done right. Dodging laser attacks and electrical beams on the rails followed by the whole place falling apart. This is where Big is tragically engulfed in flames. Hey there! Ships dropping bombs in front. This is where Big is tragically engulfed in flames. Hey there! Ships dropping bombs in front of you while at blistering speeds, narrowly escaping the Death Egg's final assault. These are thrilling set pieces I can rock with. There's just a little too many of them for the amount of content we have. The only ones I straight up don't like are the avatars because he can't boost, leaving them slow and unexciting when there aren't dash panels everywhere. And this is still the Forces engine, so there are times when your inputs, for whatever reason, don't register, so now I gotta hit up Jacoby and Myers. But aside from that, they're all short enough to not overstay, periodically shake up the gameplay, and mark the end of a stage with a spectacular element, helping to give it some more pizzazz and fatten it up to almost an unrecognizable state. Which brings us to the second major complaint: length. The results screen in this game made you feel like a parent whose child just brought home a bad report card. What is this? Forces levels were short. We are talking 90 seconds on average with all the automation and QTEs factored in, sometimes even shorter. There would be moments of greatness to get you excited, and then would immediately pass you by, slamming headfirst into the goal shortly after. It was unsatisfying and just flat out unfinished in many regards. It sucked. Overclocked spares no expense in trying to fill that void. Stages took me 3, 4, sometimes approaching 5 minutes on my first playthrough to complete. Even my speed runs, which are pretty well optimized, still ran in the 2-minute range, with the final level over 3. The only short one is the prologue, about 1.5 to 2 minutes, but it's the intro, so it's acceptably smaller. I even stayed up really late one night and got it down to 1:17. I wonder how close to world record that is, because my thumbs are gone. In addition to there being more content overall, the ratio between 2D and 3D gameplay has been turned on its head. Levels are primarily in the third dimension now, with a short 2D section in the middle only lasting around 20 seconds, maybe less if you know the right routes, occupying anywhere from 33 to as little as 9% of a level's runtime. There were only 3 levels in Forces that dared to do that, and surprise, they were all really short. It's not that 2D boost gameplay is bad, it's just that the 3D is so fun. There's a larger explorative quality, more directions to go in, and Yeah, sometimes it is just straight up better. Who made this? But now that we have a substantial amount of it, I don't mind swapping perspectives here and there because every stage feels complete. There is no "wait, that was it" remark when hitting the results screen anymore. It's gone, kaput, zippo, nada. You even go through the old level designs in between all the new stuff with minor enhancements, and they fit right in. You wouldn't notice if you hadn't played the original. Further proving the point that Forces, as it was, did not feel finished. I mean, just look at how they transformed Luminous Forest. All you did was boost, do a few jumps in 2D, boost more, grind a rail for like a second, snake. Compare that to Eclipse Forest. You start off boosting, but then slide, quick step, jump here for a massive shortcut, jump off this rail for a quick one, homing attack, bouncy vines, a gimmick that applies to the environment, slide here, switch rails for a bit, boost over this guy for a crazy skip, then do the 2D section, and finish with a rail grinding set piece at double the runtime. Pass me the check cause I'm buying. It's night and day, man. They did a fantastic job translating basic into... Yeah, that was pretty good. The only complaint that Overclocked doesn't solve is linearity. Unlike the first two, this ideology wasn't touched upon really at all. The game is still structured like a hallway, boosting down narrow corridors that never open up. Even though there are branching paths and plenty of shortcuts, the branches themselves are still straight lines. And so the way that you cut corners and access these different routes is ultimately a binary selection. You are either presented with a fork in the road where you can go left, right, and sometimes straight, or you'll be running forward and before you go downhill, jump into some hoop or homing target that takes you to the upper path. This is every interaction. Look at City Siege. The level starts with this little lip you can land on or go down for the water spout. From there, jump into this enemy chain to skip the rail for a quick time save, then turn right and take the high road, or defy gravity, I don't know, it's a free country. Turn right again for another chain, decide whether you're gonna go straight or left off these rails, then pick left or right for these. Jump to the high road again, jump on this rail, boost over this hill, jump on these rails, hit another enemy chain, jump on more rails after a hill, hit another enemy chain before going down. It's all the same two choices wrapped in different packaging. It's like getting a book for Christmas and then you realize all the other gifts are the exact same shape and size. You're like, oh gee, I wonder. And look, I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. Trying to beat your record is still exhilarating, and you can boil anything down to its basic parts to make it sound boring, but what elevated Generations to that next level was that it did periodically open up with big areas of space to let you move around and breathe. Not just mechanically, but visually too, for the sake of variety. There was platforming, times when you weren't boosting or homing attacking and had to fully control your character in 3D space. Overclocked doesn't have anything like that. It's very much a don't stop, just go attitude with maybe a few screens where there isn't a homing target nearby. And this could have been intentional because they knew that the control wasn't great for it, possibly leading to a better paced product, but even retail Forces had more open areas, so it was kind of disappointing to not see that be integrated at all. What you end up doing a lot more in its place is air boosting. Since Forces added an upwards arc to it that has to be timed quickly or else it goes down, every now and then there will be an essential shortcut that can only be reached with one, or more commonly, it'll be faster to ignore the homing targets altogether and boost past them. And discovering where these tricks are most effective is part of the fun. No, I refuse to move. I know it's not an exact substitute, but honestly, if they had to leave one of the three problems unsolved, I'm glad it was this one, because even though the linearity is limiting, having fully fleshed out stage design that doesn't end premature with a great time attack element made this a very fun, highly replayable experience. Although, not at first, mind you. On my initial playthrough, I wasn't hooked just yet. And this is how it always is. The first run of a Sonic game is either pretty good or fine. Maybe some jank here and there you gotta get used to. It's a little weird. The second playthrough, though, is where it clicks. You're past the growing pains, and now you want to show off. You start immersing yourself in the movement, the tech, and now you can't escape. You're locked in. Levels that were okay became good, and the good ones got even better. The good levels in Forces actually got worse over time. How'd that even happen? Lost Citadel is a great intro to the mod, taking place in a disheveled Mortar Canyon, which was widely considered the game's highlight, so kicking off with it leaves a strong first impression. It's extra cool because in my review of Forces back when it came out, I said that if the game started with Mortar Canyon and then kept building from there, it would have been a lot better, and that's kind of what we got here. The original was an instant icon for its unique downhill structure, beautiful factory aesthetic, and superb music, but was overshadowed by some depressingly lackluster gameplay consisting entirely of boost-to-win ideology that you could beat in under a minute with. Just plowing through hordes of meaningless enemies. How many robot lives must I take? Please, kind ostrich, let me pass and we can avoid this needless bloodshed. You had your chance. Citadel adds a 2D section in the beginning with these bombshells that launch you forward, and floating orb hazards to create a time.